Welcome today to One Pour Podcast. We're on the road today, and you've upgraded your host to Foster Charles. Sal is somewhere playing somewhere else with his mustache. I'm here to introduce Ramsey Goodrich. I keep wanting to call you Gordon Ramsay for some reason.
You're not the first person to say that.
Yeah. So from Carter Morse and Goodrich. So welcome, and we're enjoying a Manhattan today.
A classic Manhattan.
Yep.
So thank you.
Looking forward to it. So really looking forward to this conversation. I think a lot of viewers and people will be interested in learning a lot about what you do and a lot of the things that people mess up along the way. So why don't you give a brief introduction to yourself, what your specialty is, and kind of go from there.
Great. Well, thanks, Buster. And thank you for having me. I'm really impressed with what you've done with this podcast so far and all the amazing guests you've had so far. So I'm honored to be part of the elite. And we got the upgrade with you, so even better. So sorry, Sal.
Mustache free.
Yeah. I'm Ramsey Goodrich, managing partner of Carter Morse Goodrich. We're a boutique investment bank up in Southport, Connecticut, that focuses on really multi-generational family businesses or founder-led organizations. What does that mean? When you're working with private equity or large corporates, there's different mandates. When you're working with family businesses who have been doing this for 2 and 3 generations, we feel it's more important. It's a bigger exercise. It's not just the dollars and cents and doing a transaction process. It really means a lot. And so we're thrilled to be doing this for 38 years next week, actually, believe it or not. And it's been a wild ride, that's for sure.
It's cool. Well, so I understand you started Chase Manhattan's management training program. And then how'd you get here? Can you give me the speed run of how you...
Yeah. So there's a long version, but I'll try to truncate it down.
So yeah.
Yeah. I actually moved to New York after college with the promise of a job in advertising sales for skiing, powder, sailing, power boating, golf digest, golf pro shop, tennis weekly.
All right.
The 4 things I love, right?
Yeah.
Skiing, sailing, tennis, and golf. I was going to be selling advertising for that because I'd have to take clients out and do stuff. Mm-hmm. So I moved to New York. I get the great big apartment. I got a new wardrobe. I maxed out all the credit cards because here I am. Show up my first day of work and then said, oh, nobody called you? That position's been eliminated.
Ruh-roh.
Uh-oh. So here I am in New York. I'm throwing resumes to anybody that will take one. And sure enough, I get a call back, as I normally do, saying, thanks for applying. We don't think you're right for the job. You anticipate what comes next, but we'll keep your resume on file. And just and so, about to hang up before they could say that. And then he said, but I think you're going to be pretty good for this other job. Would you be willing to listen? Does it pay?
Yeah.
Yes. All right. I'm in. So I actually started at Chase Manhattan in their private wealth management, private bank, and learned that I really suck at it. So I have a lot of respect for our wealth management friends, but it wasn't for me, even though my dad was one. And so was asked to join their management training program. And we ended up doing an M&A deal out here. We bought City Trust and to establish a beachhead in Connecticut. So that was pretty cool. Commuting out from the city every day, which is weird. And that was sort of the punishment. That was the hard one. And so they sent me to Aspen, Colorado to go do my credit underwriting for jumbo mortgages in Aspen, Colorado during ski season.
Oh, fun.
The easiest job ever because you look at the balance sheet and say, can they afford it? Yeah, that was pretty easy. So it wasn't really all that hard. Came back and we designed a new division of the bank to go after the middle market, where it was above the retail bank, but not quite corporate. And it said, well, hold on a second. This is kind of neat. I've done an M&A deal. I like the credit underwriting. I like the middle market. This all makes sense to us. And so decided to go back to business school and ended up at Bank Paribas. So I left a big bureaucratic bank for a bigger, more bureaucratic French bank. That was short-lived. Ended up at Ernst & Young Corporate Finance doing M&A just before the tech bubble. And so the M&A on the way up was awesome.
Yeah, and that happened.
Bankruptcies on the way down was less fun.
Yeah.
But learned a lot in 6 years there. And then a few of us got together. I lived on an airplane for 2.5 years.
Life of M&A.
And I came back one Saturday morning and walked in the back door of my house. My daughter goes running around my wife and says, Mommy, who's that?
Whoa.
I knew it was time for a change.
Yep.
And so wait till my bonus cleared. And on February 14th, 2003, tendered my resignation. Started my own company that we ended up getting together with Carter Morse 20 years ago.
That's cool.
So it was fantastic. And I wouldn't change a thing. It was such a wild ride and so amazing. I'm still the luckiest guy to do what I do.
It's cool. And we were talking slightly before, and you said, I'm super lucky. Why do you love your job?
We get to make an impact. When these families and founders are doing their once in a lifetime transaction, it's amazing that the value we can bring to the table. Mm-hmm. It's not just about the dollars and cents. As we were talking before, purchase price is obviously really important in M&A. It's the only tangible, measurable definition of success.
Yep.
It's probably the least important. When we do our processes and we have multiple bidders and we have 4, 5, 6 offers that we love, nobody takes the highest price, unless there's some outstanding reason why. Yeah. But if it's super competitive, there's some other definition of value. It's taking care of my management team. It's taking care of my employees. It's taking care of my community that trump everything else. I had a one business owner on Long Island. Let's call him Bob, because that was his name. And we started the conversation with, I want every freaking last nickel out of this place. I don't care about employees. You're going to try to convince me there's more than money. And I tell you, I don't care. I want every last nickel. He left millions of dollars on the table. Why? I like them. Yeah. I think they'll do better. I think they'll take care of my people.
Yeah, it's not all
millions and millions of dollars were left on the table from that guy. So once you appreciate that, it really does make a huge difference. And that's what is really exciting. And to change the lives of these families and all their employees and their management team, providing a platform for growth, finding the right partner for them going forward, there's nothing better.
It's a cool story. So like you're going to like family and smaller businesses, but you started with some young and like banks and M&A transactions. Like what are the things that you, I would expect the experience doesn't always translate over. And so like what are some of the lessons you learned or the variances? What made you want to go into like family businesses?
It's being real. Yeah. I hate to say it that way, but on Wall Street, you have quarterly earnings. Mm-hmm. You have to print the biggest number. You've got the next deal. You may be somewhat conflicted by giving great advice of not doing a deal versus, making a bonus payment, right? And so here, we've learned that there's nothing more important than being brutally honest, totally transparent, and doing the right thing. Yep. It's a horrible business model, but we talk more people out of doing deals than we help doing deals.
Yeah, it's what generates loyal followers, and you're giving real advice. And as soon as I sense that a vendor or a consultant or advisor has some interest into them, I'm like, wait a second, where do they get out of this deal or that? And so when you're there, we're like, maybe you don't want to do this.
We've been engaged a couple of times by the family who are doing a bigger deal or industry we don't know very well, or stuff like that, whereby we'll advise the family, but that specialty investment bank will advise the company. Mm-hmm. And it's amazing to see that it's either an ulterior motive or, they're working with a private equity fund, but they want the sell side from them next. And so it's a weird dynamic, whereas we never work on both sides of the transaction. We only have one client. And for the first time in 38 years, we've sold our second company to the same buyer.
Done.
450 transactions or so. We've never sold 2 companies to the same buyer.
That's cool.
So there's no, it becomes much more exciting to find that right partnership.
So with finding partnerships, I think, and why I'm digging into this is I think most people, when they go for an M&A attorney and trying to find something that's guiding them, it's too late, right? They've signed an LOI, they've done something, they're already going through it. And so I'm really interested in like, one advice you have for that one, because like, it crushes my soul, but like, what are you looking for in a client? What makes a good one?
Yeah. So we have a couple of criteria, and it really depends on how it starts, right? So we'll come back to how not to start a transaction.
Yep.
Don't hand over your financials and don't sign anything. Mm-hmm. The baseline. But we're in a client, what we really look for is sort of 4 or 5 key things. Number one is they have to appreciate great advice. We're going to call their baby ugly. We're going to be totally transparent. We don't gloss over vulnerabilities. We embrace them. Why? Because the person that can address that vulnerability or make that right investment or has that person to fill a gap is the one that's going to get most excited about the opportunity.
Yep.
If you look at valuation as the inverse of risk, well, if you have this risk that a person's leaving or there's either you have a vulnerability, the person that can solve that is the one that's going to mitigate that risk and see less and pay more today and do better in the future.
Yeah. And plus, like digging up the vulnerabilities and the issues, I think a lot of people are like afraid to bring that up, even to advisors who's like, their baby's ugly. They might know it, but they're kind of trying to hide it. But for me, if it's a deal breaker later, like let's bring it up now. Like before you're $100,000 through their like advising fees and things.
As my partner Terry likes to say, if we're going to trip a landmine, I'd rather do it on our time.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Once you're in market, it has to be a sprint to the finish line, and there can be no hiccups. So make that investment up front. So that's the second one: is those that are willing to invest in their success. Planning and preparing not only trust and estates, but wealth management, getting the right lawyer, getting the right advisory team together. It's so important. But you're going to do a quality of earnings report. You're going to do an environmental study. You maybe do a market study. There's going to be an investment into your success, and you have to embrace that. You're probably going to be a couple of hundred to a few $100,000 into the process before you see an actual offer.
Yeah.
And so most guys want to cut before going into that deal. We love clients that want to invest in their success that way. So
that has to come up over and over again. Yeah. So you're going through like this 350, 450, I think you said deals.
Yeah.
And have you seen the movie before? Or you're like, okay, generally how this is going to go. I know what's going to happen. I know what's going to happen on that side. Like some of that is experience, but are you still learning? Like for me, I'm driven by learning, and I get to learn about the businesses that we're supporting and different leaders. And I'm always intrigued by that component. But a lot of times when I'm looking at somebody's like IT environment, I'm like, okay, I've seen this story before. I know there's going to be the climax. There's going to be some conflict over here. And like if these things go through, we'll get to resolution. So is it getting repetitive or like
never
still learning?
Never, because every business is different, which is so much fun to go see what else we can learn. Every owner is different. And every outcome is the right partnership. And so it has to be, everyone is different. Are there rules of the road? Are there expectations? Of course there are. And we try to really, so we were running a thing, and you had Joe Jaffe on from EOS a while ago. And Joe runs EOS, Entrepreneur Operating System. We implemented that a couple of years ago. It's been life-changing for us, by the way. But it's great. Our purpose is to deliver once-in-a-lifetime outcomes that exceed expectations. The important piece is exceed expectations. Yeah. So we really do manage what's going to come up next. We predict sort of what's going to happen. Are there rules of the road? Of course. By the way, the deal will blow up about 3 times.
Yeah.
Once when you're about to sign the offer and say, am I really going to do this? Everybody gets cold feet. That's okay. It's a really important decision.
I feel like some of your job has to be like relationship therapy.
Oh, completely.
Like, okay, don't worry. This can happen more. Yeah. Like,
we should be therapists, not investment bankers. Yeah. It's going to blow up again when you get your employment offer, right? Because what they don't value me. I'm not making as much as I used to, but you have proceeds in your pocket. This is just and then something blows up 3 days before closing.
Every time.
Always. But if you manage that up front and say it's going to happen, and it always does, then you're okay.
What was the latest like interesting surprise, or like that was a new one or something? Got any fun ones?
Oh, we need a whole different day for this. A lot more cocktails. Everything from I didn't realize that the wives were in the pension plan and they can't do that, so we're going to shut down the pension plan the day of closing. The owner borrowed a few $100,000 the week before closing, but didn't tell anybody. So now all of a sudden we have to go pay that off. Yeah. We've had tax issues.
No,
that's their company. They can do what they want. Yeah. Just let us know and we'll manage it. I don't have a problem. So yeah, there's always something fun.
Yeah. And so tell us about the founder who like has walked away from millions of dollars, but he did it to protect his employees. Like, you're talking about true value and the rest of it. Tell us a little bit more about that. I thought that was interesting.
It's so rewarding and so much fun to be able to do this that it does. Again, money is always the object, but it's the least important factor.
Yeah.
And so we had one client, Eastern Connecticut, that it's Eastern Connecticut. There wasn't a lot there. And this operating company was the hub of the entire town. They employed just about everybody. And the sister-in-law run the diner next door. And one of the wives ran the hair salon in town. And so whatever happens to this company happens to the top town and the surrounding towns. And so it's really important to find the right partner that said, we want to make the right investments here.
Yeah.
And so things like that. What we find in the middle market is it's all about growth and investment. Everyone gets nervous about, they're going to shut it down. They're going to fire everybody. We found over a few hundred transactions that that's actually the opposite. Most investors come in to invest more capital, more resources, more people, more. And so it's a irrational fear. It's a totally rational fear, but reality is really different. Mm-hmm. So when we talk about that first meeting with that client or prospect, we always talk about, so tell me what's important. And it comes down to, I want to take care of my management team.
Yep.
I want to take care of my employees. I want to take care of my community. That's what gets us out of bed every morning.
It's funny. We've done M&A ourselves. And for me, one of the big things, before I did the last transaction, we were dating. We were talking to a bunch of different people. And there was one that looked way better on paper. Somebody that made way more sense financially, fit, all the rest of it. But the owner was, I call it the scumbag test.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
He's like, I don't care what happens. You can keep me here. I prefer to walk away with a big pile of money. He said that. He's like, fire everybody. Don't care about the clients. He's like, I'm here for
run away.
Yeah, exactly. And I did. Away. It made so much more sense. And then the other deal I did made far less sense. They had no client assignment. It was a blind deal for our size of transaction. It was very unusual. We had a high customer concentration, like 50% revenue in the top 3 clients. But the owner was real right out of the gate. It was like, I'm doing this. I can sell for more money. I was like, I get that. He's like, this is what matters to me. He's like, it's the team, it's the clients, like it's his baby.
Yep.
And he wanted to do that. And we did, like, in the first thing, the values of the owner, I feel like bleed through the rest of the organization. And I went with the other one. Like, the other one made way more sense. And so I truly connect to, like, hey, who do you care about? Why are you doing this? What's going on?
And that becomes real,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
And that's what matters.
Yep.
And so you talk about, it's my baby. When you're on the buy side, you have to look at culture. Yep. And what are you getting yourself into? So the guy who's the scumbag, yep. We have a more colorful word for it.
Mine's the scumbag test.
Right. But that guy, imagine how his staff feels.
Yeah.
Imagine how they think. They're treading water, or they're living in fear, or
that's what I said. It has to bleed through the organization. Like, if I'm acquiring a company and the owner acts this way, like, who are the people that are following him?
Right.
And why? And are they scared? Are they just there for a job? Are they about to leave?
But if you have that family attitude and everyone's working together, they're all looking out for each other, that's what you're inheriting in that next iteration of the company.
Yep.
That's more valuable than the last dollar.
Yep. Absolutely.
On both sides.
So if you said no to clients, what were the reasons why?
Yeah. We love saying no to clients. Look, we are a boutique. We like to remain small. We could grow much, much faster, but we're not. We're slow, methodical, disciplined growth with the right people. We were recently talking with another investment bank that would make a lot of sense on paper to come join forces with us. And we said, you know what, doesn't feel right. And so we have that same, they were lovely people. They're great. We've actually hooked them up with another investment bank to try to see if there's something over there, but doing the right thing. But we're so obsessed with our culture and getting the right team together. That makes all the difference.
I connect with that a lot. Yeah. And so one of my favorite things that I talk about, I think culture comes from great leadership. You have awesome leadership brings awesome culture. And so guiding family-owned companies and talking to them as being, you talk to all the leaders of these organizations, What do you think the key things you hunt for? Like, again, you've seen the movie before, probably.
Yeah.
Like, what are the key skills or leadership skills you look for to say, great, this transaction going to go well? Is it not? Or the own leadership skills that you need to use to somehow do that relationship therapy to get them there? What do you hunt for?
That's a great question. I don't know if we've ever thought about sort of how do we evaluate leaders, but in thinking sort of off the cuff here a little bit, I would say it has to be trust, which is a really hard word to define, but we want to endure trust with our clients, but they also have to endure trust with us that we're giving the right advice. And more importantly, they have to endure trust with their team. One of our criteria is you have to bring your management team in. So if you're trying to do this solo without letting your management team know, it never works.
Yeah.
Because then you're dealing in fear and ambiguity and behind the curtain. It doesn't work. And so when we get that management team involved and they're part of the process and they get really excited about it, everything works better. One of our key criteria, got to get the management team.
It sounds like a good, so I think a lot of people would be interested into is like the hard learned lessons. Like you have great experience to share. And we're like, hey, make sure the leadership team is involved.
Yep.
Look, that's a great lesson, great like nugget for somebody to tuck away. So, I mean, we have 3 decades.
Yeah, we don't have to. I used to be a redhead, and now I'm not. But
so, do you have like what's the common things that you think like when you're looking at you, you're like, great, these can I call them green flags and red flags. Like red flag, like, hey, you should they're like, I'm not going to tell anybody until after closing. Like,
that's a problem.
And then I'm sure you have green flags where you're like, great, this is great things I see. Can you share some of that? I think.
Yeah, it's funny. Every situation is a little different. So there's no hard and fast rules or inalienable truths.
Yep.
Because everybody does it a little bit differently. And that's kind of the fun of what we get to do every day. But yeah, today, in today's day and age, data-driven decisions is so critical and as a definition of success.
So you look for a founder that's like looking at the numbers and data and
right. We have a great client we just did a project for. We advised not to go to market. And again, bad business model, but the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't prove what the owner and what the CEO knew in their gut.
Yeah.
That's great. Prove it. Well, we can't. Well, actually, you can. You just got to look at the data differently. So we've actually advised them to bring in another data consultant to look at their data and sort of manipulate their systems to get better outputs so that they can prove without any real doubt that what they're doing is right. And so that's one of those other things, making that investment. When we see folks trying to cut expenses to improve profitability, it's the wrong thing. There's a red flag.
Yeah.
There's a red flag.
Because I mean, if I'm a buyer, I'm looking at it, I'm like, generally running hot, they're not filling positions or anything. So
right.
I'm assuming it just gets added out and comes out in the wash later.
Well, as we always say, bulls and bears make money, pigs get slaughtered.
Yes.
And so make the right investments, do what's right for the business going forward. Whether or not you pursue a transaction is irrelevant to how you should run the business. If you underinvest in the business, that means somebody else has to invest more, which is actually destroying value. Yeah. So don't cut to success.
See, now this is actually one big guise for me to get free attorney advice for the.
I figured that's where we were going here. I wish we charged by the hour.
So, but what's one what not to do less? Like if you had to pick off one thing for people who are considering this, what's the one thing to do and not to do?
Sum it up in a word: be intentional about what you're doing. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on which way you look at it. About a third of our business comes, hey, I got a knock on the door. I'm thinking about selling. Can you help me?
Yep.
Or I signed this piece of paper. What does it mean? I can't do my job now. Yeah. So be intentional. If you're thinking about it, build the right team early, a year or 2 or 3 in advance of the transaction. Really be intentional about what you're doing and why.
Right team?
Right team. You need 4 guys in the room.
Yep.
4 people in the room. Number 1 is I like to start with the wealth management trust and estates. What's the day after look like and why are we doing this? How do we take care of the kids? if I increase purchase price, statistically, we can increase purchase price 20 to 30% on a regular basis. But if Uncle Sam's going to take 50% when you die, you're really just screwing your kids.
Yep.
Right. So be intentional. Set up that trust and estates plan. There are unbelievable opportunities for business owners that are not being taken advantage of. And I hate to say it. So be intentional with your wealth management, trust and estates planning. Hire a really good accounting and tax. There are certain things you can do in advance that minimize tax. And you're going to need the accountant to do the QV and really scrub the numbers. Make sure there's no bodies. Everybody's got bodies to bury, but and that's okay. But most business owners, including ourselves, don't like to pay taxes. Mm-hmm. So my income statement, your income statement, is there to lower taxes.
Yeah.
Right? Not really the right basis for maximizing value. So don't use your tax return or your income statement as a basis for valuation. You have to normalize. So get the right accounting and tax team to take a look at that early.
So estate, tax and accounting.
Tax and accounting, lawyer. Ready?
Wait, isn't that you?
No. We play one on TV, but we're not lawyers. As I like to say, there are all sorts of lawyers out there. Dentists and brain surgeons. Both went to medical school. Both experts. Both doctors. Both use a drill. I would never use a dentist to do brain surgery.
Yep.
Go hire the best M&A attorney you possibly can, because they're going to know the rules of the road. They're going to know what's normal. They're going to negotiate the things that matter and let the little things go. Get the best M&A attorney you possibly can, who's done this for a living. Not your contract lawyer, not your...
But how many people actually have that? Because all the time I see people who are like, oh, this is the person that helped me start my LLC. And
wrong guy.
But that has to be overwhelming. So do you like have those people? Is that what you do for them?
Yep. We love helping building that team. And then lastly, and it's totally self-fulfilling, and we're fully biased on this one, get the right investment banker.
Yep.
Not all investment bankers are the same. You've got brokers, you've got advisors, you have guys who do big deals and small deals. Everyone's different. Find the right one that you can trust. If you don't trust them, don't hire them.
Yep.
Period.
You're
Full stop.
qualified like dating matchmaker.
That's it.
It's the right person. There's they're going to be the most compatible, get the best price, get the right values, the fit.
If you put the right team together up front, and we all talk about this is what we do for a living. This is what gets us really excited. It's the outcome is amazing. And then if you run the right process and find the right partner, there's nothing better. I'm the luckiest guy to do what I do every day.
So, what's the best advice if somebody's debating this right now? Well, like you give somebody considering an M&A transaction of some sort, like you got one thing to do. They got caught you for 30 seconds in the elevator. What would you be telling them?
Start planning yesterday.
Sorry, crap. All right,
yeah. Seriously, as a lot of times we'll get into sort of younger businesses, and again, being intentional, build to sell. Mm-hmm. Not that you have to, but if you're thinking about passing it down to the next generation, wouldn't it be great to give the next generation a more valuable business that runs better?
Yep.
So start thinking about it in advance. Don't react. If you start to look at your business not from within, but externally, it's amazing what you see. Mm-hmm. Rule number 1, fire your brother-in-law. Right? It sounds silly, but if he's there, if he's dead wood, he may be the greatest guy on earth. Yeah. Most of the time, may not be.
You go to family-owned businesses like I had my brother work for me for like 6 months.
I tell you, he no longer works here.
6 months.
Yeah. I could never work with him. I love him to death.
That has to be interesting. So you get these like family-owned businesses, probably started from a grandfather, then you get the father who like worked in the business and he was more connected.
Who was really respectful of dad in that generation.
And they're going to do the trust and carry that. And then when those children get it, a lot of that connection gets lost. And then you have a family business, you have 5 people, and then they're like, hey, like half of them think we should sell it and feel like they're like doing great grandpa like some dirty through the process. Like, again, a part of your thing has to get into like therapy mode. Like, are you walking through that? Or you ever have people come to you and you're like, great, this is one person who's like, hey, well, my brothers don't know this is going on. Like,
we have there's not a story we haven't seen, which is kind of fun. One boy, I don't want to throw any clients under the bus here, but yeah, we've seen it all. We have infighting. We worked with one family that siblings were suing each other about what to do in the business next. Spent millions of dollars suing each other. Siblings. We had one family that they were the shareholders who would elect the board, who would nominate a CEO who runs the company. That's how typical it's supposed to work. But you had 4 shareholders, 4 board members elected one CEO to manage the 4 of them.
Mm.
How does a decision get made?
Yeah.
It doesn't. And so, and each one sort of let it to be on their own little fiefdom, that they came back and said, we would rather sell the business to save the family.
Yeah.
And so when you hear that, you're like, yeah, we're going to do this right.
Yeah.
Find a great partner. There's never a shortage of stories. My MBA is useless in this industry. I wish I had a psychotherapist.
Yeah, exactly. You'd be a therapist.
Yeah.
Like that probably help more.
Yep. Well, and it's siblings, it's parent-child, but what matters actually is grandparents and grandkids. There's always infighting horizontally and a little bit vertically, but would grandpa be proud? And would my grandkids be honored?
Yep.
And now if you can answer those questions, then you're doing the right thing.
That's great. That is great advice.
Yeah.
That's a good way to look at it. So let's talk about you a little bit. I'm out drinking when you're at Silly Kill. So running, cheers. I'd say you're into bourbon enthusiast, and then you talked about something that we talked about bourbon, paper planes, Hattons, all this, and then you're like, hey, what about Creek Tea?
Creek Tea.
What is Creek Tea?
So there is a golf course down in South Carolina.
Yeah.
That is the Chessie Creek Club. And they make a fantastic Creek Tea. Now, tea is T-E-E. So it's a golf course, of course.
Yep.
So it's basically bourbon and lemonade with orange bitters. And I've been trying to.
We're going to be having those.
I know. I thought about it too late. Figure it's the summertime, and that would be ideal. So I'll have a couple later today, in your honor, of course.
Yeah, perfect.
And so it was a neat drink that we went down there for a trip. A bunch of couples love to play golf, and we were on it enough to get on the course, and had a couple of too many Creek Teas, and so it's a good one. So
when you're in New York, you said you were like, hey, excited to sell the advertising like skiing, golfing, what was the tennis
and boating,
and boating. So you still like us a while ago, I'm assuming. So you still doing all those things?
Not nearly as much as I want to. Yeah. But yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So what was your favorite? You can't have 4 favorites. Like my children ask me.
You sound like my wife now. Cut it out. So she won't let me buy a boat. So that's because we don't have the time, and honestly, we wouldn't use it enough. We love golf, but again, it's a 6-hour day. But we definitely passionate about skiing.
Skiing.
Out of all of them, I gotta say skiing.
See, I don't do any 4 of those things. I see the boat as the thing that the hole in the water that you pour money into.
Well, boat stands for break out another 1,000, because it's just a hole that you keep dumping money in.
Golf, I'm just way too ADHD for it. Like 2 hours in, I'm like, I got to go do something.
I'm with you.
Maybe I can get through 9 holes. Skiing, I have not tried. I live in New England. I've never done skiing, snowboarding.
All right, I know what we're going to do this winter. Come on up.
All right. That sounds like fun. But I'll be on like the Buddy Hill with my children, but they'll probably out skiing at the process.
It's a really proud moment when they do. I hate to admit this, and Carter, I hope you're not watching. My son's a better skier than I am. I have to admit that now. He grew up racing and up at Okemo, and it's been great. We used to do, we're do 40 days a year, something like that. And he now can beat me down the hill. He's always been faster because he doesn't have the brain to slow down.
The difference is
technically he's got
my kids will be faster, but my daughter's 7, my twin boys are 5, so they'll probably still beat me.
But now's the time to get in. Why? Because they're smaller. If they fall over, it doesn't hurt as bad.
Yeah.
But when we do it and fall over, it takes a lot longer.
I'll be limping on the way back to work.
Yeah.
So is that what you do? Is like, so what do you do to recharge? You're having high level conversations, and it's mentally draining. I know by Friday I am like done and suddenly drinking it noon. But like, what are you doing to recharge? Is it one of those three things?
Actually, we're part of a boat club, so actually we're taking one other weekend.
There you go.
We'll do a little of that too. Honestly, recharge I get so invigorated by what we do. It's not recharging at all.
Mm.
I hate to say it. Last weekend, I dove into a legal document, purchase agreement. It was so much fun. I may be a little twisted, but you have to balance it. And so you do have, I love spending time with my family. I love traveling, love skiing. So yeah, all of that. But I also can't turn off my phone.
It's so funny. I'm the exact same way. So Service Leadership Index, SLI, is a company that all it does is indexes and looks at the data of IT companies. And it's like 4,000 MSPs. They all submit their financials in the same way.
Oh, awesome.
And they show and like look at all the best practices that
what a great
best in class like companies do. And so it's awesome. I'm a data nerd. I'm an IT guy. I can't help myself. But like my wife is making fun of me. She's like, what are you so like enthralled? Like I'm deep onto it. And they released an annual 450 page like PDF, and every page is like a slide with a boat ton of data and like best practice and everything. And I'm just nerding it up over there.
I love it.
Like that's why I'm doing the recharge. She's like, something is wrong with you. It's like it's IT. It's what I love to do. I get jazzed up about it.
But that's that passion that you need to see. And when we go back to culture and what's important to us, we've surrounded ourselves with folks that are passionate about this and really making a difference and finding that right partnership and giving great advice. And it's exciting. It's great. My wife hates when I say this, but I love going to work. She's like, when are you going to retire? The answer is very simple. Never. You're screwed. My partners are rolling over right now. But when you're passionate about what you do, it's not going to work. I got to have fun every day with great people, both clients and people who work with. Fantastic.
Yeah, I always tell people I'm crazy because I'm excited to get out of bed and go to work every day. Or especially like I got young kids, so at home, like Friday, I'm like super excited to see the kids. Haven't seen them all week. Yeah. But Sunday, I'm like, I'm ready to go. I want the intellectual like challenge and stimulation, but like I'm excited to go to work every day. I'm excited to like go and take something on
and the new challenge and the new discovery and the new learning. And it's fun because we get to go see factory floors that are completely different from each other. Yeah. And learn how something's made.
So where do you learn outside of just doing what you're doing every day? What are the things that you're doing to continue to move forward? Like I'm always interested. I get to talk to all sorts of different leaders. And what are you doing to like podcasts, like different news articles, things that you're reading to like grow yourself?
You know, I wish I had a better answer because you posed that the other day and I've been really thinking about it. My wife is a readaholic. She reads 2 or 3 books, I think a week. It's crazy. And when we used to do our board of advisors, we get together every 6 months or so. And part of the topic was always tell me about the great book you've read recently. I haven't read a book in years.
Really?
Years. So I just can't. I'm not a reader. And then when I get in the car, frankly, I think I'm more productive in the car on the phone than I am anywhere else. Certainly not in the office. And so podcasts, if I'm driving to Vermont for the weekend or something, it's usually Wall Street Journal. Yep. Or some derivation thereof. Whatever's happening in the world, I'd love to dive into one topic. The headlines are useless because you just don't know the data behind it. But if we can go deep in one thing, it's really neat. But I love how it's made. Aria Santiago does a great podcast here in Connecticut about making things, the manufacturing stuff in here. It's
a shame. I heard he shutting it down.
Unfortunately, I heard that too.
It's unfortunate. Yeah, the same thing. Like Pro Connecticut, cool things going on. Yep, link different leaders. Yeah, it was some of the inspiration for this. So it's sad to see that go. Yeah. It's funny you said you're super productive in the car. I think it's on a plane for me. My whole team knows when I'm on a plane flight because like I email all sorts of things. And then a lot of times like I don't even bother with the Wi-Fi because like with internet, I can get distracted.
Yes.
And so I'll do that. And when I land, I like reconnect the internet, like bam, 40 emails, 50 emails come out. But I'm the same with the car. So I'm in the car a ton. And I recently hit a deer on my old car. I'm a Tesla fan. So I've had a Tesla for like 11, 12 years.
Okay.
And I can't get off.
So I'm on my second.
Oh, yeah.
It's a fabulous car. I love it. I bought it before the election. So let's put that out there.
I had the same thing. So, but I punted a deer basically like 15 yards, and I drove it for like a month or two after that. I was like, this looks shabby. I had a Model 3, and I was like, I gotta get this thing fixed. Well, in fixing it, they set off the airbags, totaled the car. I had to go get a new one. I'm going through, and they gave me like a rental car for like 2 weeks. It was a Jeep Wrangler. I was like, oh, this is fun. Take the top off, all that. I almost killed myself like 3 times. I've gotten so used to the self-driving. Yeah. And like just be rely on it. And I was like, this is weird to like drive again. I drove like 5, 6 other cars. I could not give up self-driving. I am so productive in the car. I'm definitely on the phone, or I'm reading email or something along those lines. And I could not give up the auto drive. So
it's funny because I like the Tesla only for its performance.
Really?
With zero, I mean, there's no gear shift. It just goes.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And so I actually I think it's a great driving car.
Yep.
As much as anything else. I haven't got to the point where I'll trust the autonomous driving. So
see, I originally got it like so long ago because I was driving to New York and Boston back a lot and meeting with clients. And I trusted implicitly in traffic because you might be in traffic 4 hours to New York, 5 hours at the wrong time. And so I literally would like do all my emails and everything into it because it's just stop and go, and I trusted it. And then it got better on the highway, and now it's phenomenal. I got through Newport in the middle of summer, and just like a week or two ago, and like you have people cutting out, you have people double parked, and they handle it great. Like going through that, I was definitely like hovering over the wheel to make it.
I haven't been able to trust it. I enjoy the drive, and it's the one time I get to think.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would tell you, first thing in the morning, when I'm just sort of waking up, I solve more problems first thing in the morning. Yep. That 4:30 to 7 a.m. is phenomenal because there's no emails yet.
Yep.
There's no phone calls yet, and I just sit and crank. By 9 p.m., my brain is dead. I'm done.
Yep.
I've got one of my partners, Michael. I get more emails from him between 11:30 when the news is off and 1 a.m. That's his time to think and get stuff done.
It's funny. I'm the same way. The car time, because if I'm traveling or doing anything and my wife's like, "You're a psychopath." Like, it's been silent in the car for like, you don't have music, podcasts, anything. I was like, no, it's the only time I have to myself. Got young kids at home. I go to the office, back-to-back meetings, different things going on. And like, sometimes I like 35-minute drive home. I'm like, and I get to think. And a lot of times all of a sudden I start doing something else, but it's like, it's the only time for that.
Well, and 20 to 35 minutes is actually the right amount of commute.
Yeah.
I happen to live 3 miles from the office. There's exactly 3 stop signs.
Yeah.
Not a single light.
I can relate.
It's about 7 to 8 minutes.
For the past 15, 20 years, I've been 6 to 9 minutes away from the office.
Yeah.
I can't even, I'm like still on the phone leaving the office. I'm still on the phone when I get home. Right?
Exactly. And there's no transition time. There's no buffer. There's no, and so, half the time I come in, I'm on the phone as I'm walking in. The dog's barking. The kids are screaming. Dad. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm on the phone. Right. And so there's no buffer. So I love that 20, 30-minute commute.
Oh, yeah. So I got a couple rapid fire items as we're starting.
Fire away. Because I got to get into my Manhattan here.
You got it. Well, now you have to chug it. So, but like, what's the solid piece of advice you give to a new founder?
I'm totally biased. But build to sell, because you're not that you have to, again, like I said before, not that you have to, but think about value. Think about what the outcome is. Think about why we're getting there. Be intentional about what you're doing. It's amazing to see the new technologies and new ideas. And what we found in sort of old economy businesses, you don't need to be revolutionary. You only need to be evolutionary. Mm-hmm. But that evolutionary one is one that is successful 2-3 generations from now.
That's awesome. What's your go-to productivity hack? You're juggling probably a bunch of deals, have a lot of different meetings. Like, What's your productivity hack?
I live and die by my calendar.
Yeah.
And if I need to think, I will literally put on, block out. I need an hour just on my own.
That doesn't, like, when you do that, like, oh, that's the free hour. He's just thinking. It's so easy to have. I have focus time. I'm the same way. So I'm like 7:30 to about 11 is focus time.
Yep.
But one could be probably me. And I'm like, oh, I can squeeze something else in here.
Right.
You ever fall into that trap?
Always. Constantly. Yes.
This is my thinking time. Now it's a meeting time.
Yeah. Now somebody else needs something more important.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine. No, it's. I love juggling.
Yep.
I really do. I'm not a linear guy. I'm sounds like you.
Yeah.
Total ADD. I'm all over the place all the time.
I'm not happy unless I'm like on the edge of chaos.
Yes.
Like I'm like on the cliff edge, like also leaning over. Then I'm going.
My partners are much more disciplined and process oriented and want to think about what happens if. And we did a self-assessment called a Colby
Yeah,
assessment.
totally.
Yeah. And I am the definition of a quick start.
Yeah.
If there's a good idea, all right, we're on it. Let's go.
Let's go.
And my partners are like, well, they're fact finders.
Mm-hmm.
And so they need to go think, well, what happens if? And if that, then this, then that, then this. And so it's really, you have to appreciate the two different ways to get there.
Oh yeah.
And the balance between the two is so amazing. But I'm
for the two of us who were like, can we fact find a little faster,
you can fact find in your own time. I don't need to be part of this.
Let me know when you come to my conclusion.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then like open-ended, like fill in the blank, I guess, is that the leadership isn't about making the most money. It's about what?
The people. Without question. I love what we do, that we get to make these transformative decisions for families. And it's never about the money. It's always about the people. It's and taking care of them, whether that be employees, whether that be management teams, whether it be family members, the next generation, 3, 5, 7 generations from now. I don't care if you've got the best technology. I don't care if you've got the best widget. I have no idea how to make a widget, but if you surround yourself with the right people and the right culture, and always do what's right, it's unbelievable.
I recently just had somebody just came back from a peer group, and like nobody's on their deathbed said should be more EBITDA. Right. Just sold for a little bit more.
Yeah.
Should have done that. It's always about the people, and like,
Amen.
I wish I treated that person better. I wish I was with somebody.
No regrets. You were right the first time, then you don't have to regret it.
Well, it's great. Yeah, that's great.
There is a great boat that we saw in the Nantucket Harbor. That big, massive boat, right? Yacht, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
10 times EBITDA. So EBITDA is important. Don't get me wrong, because it leads to a great big boat at some point. But no, it's never on your
boat
deathbed.
alone. It's not
Exactly.
Exactly. Well, I really appreciate the time, spending the time with us, sharing some of your experience, and just sharing overall. It's great to hear different leaders. I'm looking forward to you teaching me how to ski.
Come on up.
Yep. But again, appreciate it. And thanks for coming on.
Absolutely. Well, Foster, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yep.
A part of the elite crew, and we got the upgrade again.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Mustache free.
there you go. Well, cheers.
Cheers. Thanks.
That was pretty good.
That's good.